Hello everyone, this is Anjali or Angelina. All glories to Shri Guru on Shri Gauranga. Today I'm here with you with the analysis of second lunar eclipse on the Leo Aquarius axis sidereal zodiac, which will take place on March 3rd with a peak at 11:25 UTC. The eclipse will take place in the nakshatra Purva Phalguni, in the very heart of Leo. The total lunar eclipse is visible across the entire Earth hemisphere facing the Sun. However, its best visibility high above the horizon, nearly overhead, occurs at these coordinates, centered over the Pacific Ocean. I never get tired of repeating the importance of eclipses regardless of place of residence. It concerns everyone in any case, and especially those who have planets on those axes, like now on Leo Aquarius axis. If this information is useful for you, please don't forget to like right now. The algorithms read this and show the video to more people. I will be extremely grateful to you for this, and also if you subscribe to my channel. And I start without further delay. A lunar eclipse is always a catharsis, a purification, a revelation of what was hidden under a pile of illusion, the light of the self, the lack of information about what to do and how to act. It brings to light what was obscured during the previous solar eclipse. When on September 21st, 2025, the Sun in Leo in Lunar Phalguni nakshatra was eclipsed, it was unclear how to enter agreements and what commitments to take on. There was neither certainty nor clarity about how long a union would last or what its true meaning was. It felt though everyone wanted to deceive you, to use you and your kindness for their own benefit. Additionally, Ketu's placement during that solar eclipse close to Venus, the celestial diplomat, intensified stubbornness, excessive principled rigidity, and distrust on all levels. Ketu, being 12 from that eclipse, was teaching us to let go of attachment to pleasure and superficial harmony, and to release the illusion that happiness lies in external forms. How will this cleansing catharsis unfold? What are our eyes opening to now, or already opened to? To spirituality and to the very system of beliefs itself. As usual, I calculated the chart for universal time and for the coordinates of the place where the eclipse is at its peak, directly overhead. Therefore, current conjunction of Moon and Ketu in Leo falls into the 9th house, directing focus towards spirituality and higher knowledge. This time, this transformation of consciousness is wondrous because this Purnima, this full moon, is Gaura Purnima, the golden night of the appearance of Shri Gauranga, the golden avatar, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful personality, the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna himself, together with his eternal consort, Srimati Radharani, in one form, who descended to grant liberation from the bonds of Maya to everyone, regardless of accumulated karma. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu generously distributes Krishna consciousness, the religion of the heart, to anyone who desires it, calling out, having received this auspicious human birth, do not miss this rare chance, for Shri Chaitanya descends to chant the holy names only once in 1,000 Kali Yugas, that is, once in every 8,640,000,000 human lifetimes. You will not get such a chance even in 1,000,000 lives. Ketu, the hero of this eclipse, with the powerful impulse of the serpent's tail, from the depths of your subconscious and from millions of your samskaras, releases an understanding, a flash of awareness, an echo of memory of who you truly are, an eternal soul, and where your true place is. This is an extremely auspicious moment, the greatest gift you could ever receive. Ketu is now very close to the moon, only 4 degrees apart. We know that their conjunction brings up deep fears and irrational phobias. It always sharpens intuition and inner sensitivity. And now, being only 4 degrees apart, it forces detachment from rigid traditional beliefs and pushes one toward the light rather than relying on external and established religious rituals. It opens understanding of spiritual truth, perhaps still distant and detached, yet Precisely this will compel the search for true purpose, ecstatic happiness of participation and collective service to the center of all existence, to beauty and love. Since the eclipse is in Leo, eyes open to the realization that it's time to detach from ego and pride. One may feel more comfortable in non-orthodox philosophical systems. It becomes time to seek spiritual teachers, and they will appear in a wondrous, illogical way. Why? Because Ketu's trigger is rooted in unresolved past life karma and is connected with teachers, mentors, father figures, and traditional religion, pushing us to walk through these themes and to go beyond dogmatic ideas of God. Thus, deep intuitive wisdom and inner spiritual sensitivity are unique gifts we receive from Ketu now. The Moon-Ketu conjunction always creates emotional turbulence. When the mind is eclipsed, there is a feeling, and truly so, of playing a role in life without feeling authentic or fully engaged, as Ketu dissolves the illusions of the material world. One observes one's emotions from the outside, feeling like an observer in one's own life. Even the concept of one's own life is questioned. Long-distance travel may change your worldview through deep transformative experiences. Who sets the stage for the eclipse? Purva Phalguni, ruled by Venus, a nakshatra of sensual pleasures, attractions between sexes, and comfort. Her symbol is a bed or hammock. Her deity is Bhaga, one of the Adityas, responsible for marital happiness and prosperity, as well as the Shiva Linga. The Moon-Ketu conjunction here creates a paradoxical tension between intense desire for pleasure and romance and the need for spiritual detachment and solitude. One may experience pleasure in relationships or creativity, yet feels deep dissatisfaction. Love itself is questioned. A constant tug-of-war arises between closeness and freedom. One withdraws from luxury and self-expression, or seeks deeper spiritual meaning behind them. Spiritual awakening begins inner self-exploration. That is what the coming lunar eclipse might bring with it. Ketu is Vargotama now, as Rahu was during the solar eclipse. Ketu will remain in Leo and the Navamsha. Vargotama means that his energies are attuned to those toward which our consciousness must develop, namely towards spiritual introspection and a focus on inner growth instead of seeking external validation. Instead of striving for leadership, using one's own warmth and strength to illuminate the minds of those around, directing the ego into a spiritual channel to find courage, bravery, and humility all at once to accept guidance. The moon, meanwhile, enters the Navamsha at 18 degrees of Virgo, joining Saturn, bringing a sense of mental discipline, emotional detachment, intense focus, or feeling of being restricted by work. It leads toward a realistic and often pessimistic outlook on life. Placed in Hasta, she develops business acumen and the ability to grasp things quickly, acquiring new skills, becoming meticulous, a master, a specialist, and developing manual dexterity and attention to detail. It's a call to grow and continue the journey, despite the pressure of external circumstances. Let's look at the position of the eclipse ruler, the Lord of Leo, the Sun. Since Moon and Ketu are in his sign like tenants, they are subject to his condition and are also influenced by the aspect of the Sun. The Sun is in Aquarius, still in tight conjunction with Rahu and Mercury, and now with Mars as well. As we remember from the solar eclipse analysis, the Sun struggles in cold, intellectual, and detached Aquarius, a sign ruled by his greatest enemies, Saturn and Rahu. He exists in a state of internal tension between the desire for self-expression and the need for discipline and detachment, and the necessity to focus on themes that transcend the personal ego, humanitarian goals, collective progress, technology, and unconventional ideas. Having entered Shatapisha, the Sun takes on responsibility obsessively and unconventionally, beyond social norms, relying on scientific logic with the aim of serving the higher good, the common cause, the common welfare, and society. And being placed in the third house of the lunar eclipse chart, the Sun acts boldly and decisively, shedding light on themes of healing, research, and complex systems. In conjunction with Rahu, he manifests powerful and extreme ambitions to reach goals, along with the intense, obsessive, and compulsive efforts for self-expression. This leads to difficulties in relationships with authority or father figures and unconventional choices for success paths. Currently, in the third house of communication and self-effort, the Sun-Rahu conjunction sends an impulse to the eclipse, a fierce drive to succeed at one's own terms at any cost, driven by the mindset of "I am no simpleton." This is expressed through an innovative, revolutionary, and manipulative manner of speech, and by broadcasting rebellious ideas that break tradition. It also manifests as independence in relationship with siblings, close circles, and neighbors, often with a certain degree of arrogance. Naturally, this cannot have a favorable impact on those relationships. Aquarius aspects the eclipse, its opposite, and remains just as overloaded. Instead of Venus, Mars has now joined this bad company, leaving behind his degrees of exaltation in Dhanishta. The placement in Aquarius is unfavorable for Mars. He doesn't recognize himself here. He becomes a revolutionary, challenging the king and the government, committing unethical acts. His proximity to Rahu fills his actions with irrationality and impulsiveness. His mood is, "To hell with it, I will wreck everything right now." He cannot contain his aggression. It's visible everywhere. Therefore, use caution and mindfulness. Receive information, but take a time out before making any decisions. Aggression isn't just manifesting, it's being broadcast alongside falsification and deceit. A retrograde Mercury cannot resist the charm of the illusionist Rahu. He'll either mindlessly hoard information or spread disinformation, gossip, rumors, and spam. Intellectual criminal activity will rise, a greeting from the grand strategist Oscar Bendel style. Thus, one should question the nature of Rahu, the engine of scientific progress. He is the force that holds us tight in the embrace of illusion and compels us to return to this material world again and again, creating more and more new desires, whispering, "You haven't tried this yet." It should be noted that as Mars continues his movement through Aquarius and Rahu moves in the opposite direction, the lunar nodes will enclose all the planets in what is known as Kala Sarpa Yoga. The shadow planets will strive even harder to push for sensory experience and the materialization of desires. Kala Sarpa will amplify the influence of Maya unconsciousness, making one dependent on circumstances created by their own mind. These circumstances unfold in the sphere of the 3rd and 9th houses at the axis of the mind eclipse during the lunar eclipse, and the 4th and 10th houses at the consequences of the solar eclipse. This manifests as ideological disputes, aggression, challenges in personal achievements, domestic happiness, career, and profession. This Kala Sarpa Yoga will be resolved by Venus, the most merciful Shukracharya, when she moves from Leo to Virgo in August. However, only the truth is capable of breaking the chains of Kala Sarpa, namely the realization of oneself as a fragment, as a part of the divine, the sincere desire to serve the Supreme Person of Godhead, and the commitment to this spiritual path. And now, let's move to the ruler of Purva Phalguni, Venus. She has moved from a conjunction with Rahu into a conjunction with Saturn, from illusion to commitment. During the solar eclipse, Venus was the weakest planet. Now she has recovered and is the strongest planet in the eclipse chart. Having passed through Shatapisha and almost all of Purva Bhadrapada, she is now heading straight for her exaltation and the final degrees of gravity. There, her love is like a bottomless mystical ocean connecting us to the spiritual realm, where artistry, dreaminess, empathy, compassion, and transcendence are so boundless and blurred that the line between this world and the next disappears. Venus in Pisces love unconditionally, offering profound emotional support and understanding. For her, a relationship is like a fairy tale of spiritual union, where giving is far more important than focusing on what is received in return. Venus in Pisces loves to absorb the emotions of others. She loves being infinitely sensitive, caring, and intuitive, magnetic and charming. She yearns for a deep, almost magical connection. Saturn in Pisces is focused on spiritual transformation, discipline, and the restructuring of life's fundamental base. In his own nakshatra, he returns home, conducting a karmic audit and settling debts. Saturn, the Lord of time and karma, helps one realize that after death, the only thing you take with you is a suitcase of your accumulated karma. His placement in Uttara Bhadrapada, with her symbol of the funeral coat's back part and a person on the threshold of walls looking with two faces into both, reflects the final stage before liberation. It points to deep inner purification, a letting go of the past, and spiritual maturation. In other words, Saturn's lessons here in Pisces give birth to wisdom and insight. The conjunction of Venus and Saturn in Pisces merges romantic idealism with grounded restraint. It infuses the energy of relationships with longevity, responsibility, stability, and maturity, building healthy boundaries in love and finance. It liberates one from past exhausting or codependent relationship patterns, forcing a move from fantasy to reality and demanding effort to overcome emotional barriers. Romantic relationships are tested against reality, halting romantic illusions and pushing towards serious commitment and maturity, guiding one toward a deeper spiritual form of love. Just as in relationships, it demands careful planning, structure, and the abandonment of frivolous spending in the realm of finance. To describe Purva Bhadrapada, one must imagine Mata Durga demanding blood sacrifices and appearing in her most terrifying, wrathful, and formidable form to strike fear into sinners, lead them to repentance, and return them to the righteous path. The deity of Purva Bhadrapada is Ajayakapada, whose name interpreted as zoomorphic symbol of lightning and thunder, and is associated with Rudra. The animal symbol of Purva Bhadrapada is the lion, whose behavior is never predictable. At any moment it might pounce on you, or it might simply turn around and walk away. This means that Venus in Purva Bhadrapada loves to hurl thunder and lightning, clearing away the unnecessary and removing obstacles. She loves expression of respect and even obedience. The conjunction in the sign of Pisces between Venus in Purva Bhadrapada and Saturn in Uttara Bhadrapada acts as if it catches one from the boundless ocean of romantic aspirations, raging with thunder and lightning bolts, and place them into the boat of structured discipline, which promises the path to spirituality. Having nearly drowned and perished in material love, the individual emerges, realizing they have been cleansed of emotional baggage. Now they must accept harsh reality and receive their karmic dues. This is a time of confronting the deep truth about relationships and re-evaluating them, leading to a profound search for life's meaning and detachment. It's like receiving a wake-up call, the necessity to go through intense relationship dynamics and learn to let go of what no longer serves one's spiritual development. This combination of Venus and Saturn directs one towards serious introspective searches and responsible, structured steps, demanding a rise above superficial desires for the sake of building conscious, long-term connections and/or finding inner peace. This experience may feel limiting and frustrating, but it ultimately leads to wisdom and spiritual evolution. In the Navamsha, Venus moves into 18 degrees of Cancer, into the insight and wisdom, the energy and power of Ashlesha. This leads to deep reflection, austerity, solitude, and reclusion. Yet, on the other hand, it can manifest as malicious speech, sharp tongue, toxicity, and the use of insight to exploit others, as well as the removal of obstacles and limitations leading to wealth and fame. Saturn, meanwhile, enters in the Navamsha in his own nakshatra, the nourishing, nurturing, abundant, prosperous, self-sacrificing, and charitable Pushya. This strengthens the reliability and material stability, fostering patience and perseverance through delays and restrictions. This was my analysis of the eclipse chart. Let's summarize. What was obscured during the previous solar eclipse? Illusions and relationships, lack of clarity in commitments, distrust and the fear of being used, attachment to external harmony and pleasures, undergoes a catharsis during this lunar eclipse in Leo in Purva Phalguni. The focus shifts towards spirituality and the search for higher meaning and purpose. The Moon-Ketu conjunction creates a conflict between the desire for love and the need for freedom, between material pleasures and spiritual realization. The key stabilizing factor is the transition from illusions to maturity and the testing of relationships for strength. Do not forget the accompanying conflicts with authorities and the risk of aggressive or manipulative communication. Despite the emotional instability and tension of the eclipse, this carries a rare and favorable chance for spiritual evolution. It's a moment of self-realization as a soul. It's a time to seek the truth within and channel personal power into spiritual path. Since the eclipse coincides with the appearance day of Sri Gauranga, the golden avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the heart itself commands us to chant the holy names in Sankirtana, fast and partake in festive prasadam as the moon rises. That's all from me for today. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you a blessed transformation, a happy Gaura Purnima, all the very best, and see you soon.